Hi, you guys. Welcome to Audrey's Reading Area. Shout out to my grandbabies, Korea, Sanaa, David the Third, and Caden. I love you guys, and I miss you. Happy Thanksgiving to you guys. All right, all right, all right. Yes. Thanks for being here. Thanks for listening. Thanks for clicking like. Thanks for sharing. And thank you for going to YouTube looking for Audrey's Reading Area and smashing that subscribe button for me. All right, all right, all right, you guys. Alexa, what time is Audrey's Reading Area?
Audrey reads in her area live at 8 o'clock p.m.
Live at 8, you guys. Live at 8. Thanks for being here. I got a very festive book that I'll be reading for you guys, being that it is Thanksgiving today. Well, it's a book, Marlo Thomas and Friends, Thanks and Giving. And there's a short story in here that I am going to read for you guys. It's kind of not really short, but it's a story. It's called Thanking is Just One Letter Away from Thinking. I figured this is the size of it. I figured that would be pretty good to read to you guys today. Thanking is Just One Letter Away from Thinking by Larry Gelbart, illustrated by Karen Katz. So, this is the book Marlo Thomas, famous actress, and Friends, Thanks and Giving, all year long. So, this is the story I'm going to be reading. Thanking is just one letter away from thinking. All right, so sit tight and listen up. Just listen up as I put on my glasses and read to you guys. Well, all right, here we go. I'll let you see the front cover as I read. Thanking is just one letter away from thinking by Larry Gelbart, illustrated by Karen Katz. Not too much water, Melody, her mother said. Her parents had named her Melody because from the moment she was born, they knew that she would be the music of their lives. Like all music, Melody could sometimes be too noisy. She could sometimes be too loud. Sometimes she could go on and on and on long after she should have stopped. None of that ever mattered, though, to her mom and dad. Melody would always be their very favorite song. Just enough so that the seeds won't be thirsty. Her mother, who was very good at adding, added, when I was a seed, did you have to put me in the dirt and water me?" Melody asked. Melody's mother would often tell people what a wonderful imagination her little daughter had. Being so young, Melody couldn't even imagine what imagination meant. But imagine she did, even if she didn't know that there was a special word for what she was doing. Hmm. Though her mother explained that people were different from flowers, Melody wondered if the flowers knew that. Maybe they couldn't think that what maybe they couldn't think when they were just little seeds, but they'd probably be able to think once they grew all the way up through the dirt and started to have faces. That night, after the seeds had been sown and watered and tucked into their flower bed, and after Melody had been soaped and watered and tucked into her own, Melody's father read her a story. It was something that Melody would one day do with her own little children, telling them just exactly what her father had always told her, that every story was a ticket to a dream. Hmm. After he had finished reading and had given his daughter a kiss to sleep on, Melody's father turned out the lamp beside her bed and quietly left the room. Melody knew that her big, strong father would be able to protect her from anything. Knowing that he could make it seem as though he were almost as little as she was also made her feel just as safe. even if it was in a different kind of way. Alone and not the least bit sleepy, Melody went to her window so that she could look down at the backyard, down at the spot in which her flower seeds slept. Or were they as wide awake as she was? She tried hard to imagine what they were thinking if they were still up, and what they might be dreaming if they were asleep. She wondered too if the big old tree that stood next to the flower bed knew that there was some brand new seed sleeping almost at the foot of its trunk. That pretty soon the trees would have a bright ring of color where now there was only a ring of dirt. The thing about wondering is that one wonder always leads to another. And so Melody started wondering if the old car tire tied to the old tree that she used for a swing had things going around and around inside its own mind, too. Did the tire ever get dizzy, as Melody did when her father pushed her so high up into the air that she could see the bird's nest on the branch of the tree, the one with the three little eggs inside of it? And did the worms that the mother bird would soon be digging up around the old tree to feed her tiny chicks, did they all have their own wormy thoughts too? Interesting, right? Then, because her head was getting so crowded with so many wonderings, Melody decided to get back into her bed. The very last thought she had before her eyes turned their lights out was that, just in case all of the things she shared her world with could think, could have thoughts just the way she could, she would never do anything that might hurt them. She would always make them feel as safe as she could, just the way her mother and father always made her feel. And even if they didn't understand that, she did. She did. They didn't understand that. She did. And that made her feel warm inside. That made her feel good. That made her feel thankful. Thankful for herself and thankful for all the things in this world. Yes, that's what today is about. Thanksgiving, giving thanks and being thankful. So, thank you. Thank you for being here and listening to me read. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Find everything